Okay, let's continue. For sample problem number 1, a specimen of saturated sand was subjected to a triaxial test under a chamber pressure of 400 ppa. The soil sample is cohesionless if the drain friction angle is 34 degrees. So, etong chamber pressure, so chamber pressure na basically that is the sigma 3. And then, so binagit din cohesionless, ibig sabihin ang value ng C natin is 0. Pero actually, kahit hindi naman sabihin, no, na cohesionless, so binanggit din kasi na sand. So, sa pinakita natin last time, di ba? For the value ng C prime for sand, it is 0. Kasama ni inorganic silt. And then, drain friction angle, so ito naman yung ating C. So, pinapakompute, the total axial stress at which failure will be expected to occur. So, medyo marami, no? So, try muna natin i-drawing yung ating Mohr circle. So, take note, meron tayong value ng sigma 3, that's the chamber pressure na 400 kPa. C natin is 0, and then yung P natin is 34 degrees. Try natin i-drawing yung ating Mohr circle muna. Medyo tagilid. And then approximate lang natin. Kulay red. Oops, medyo pangit. Lakayan ko lang konti. Medyo awkward mag-drawing ng circle. I think pwede na siguro yan. So, hindi ko na dinrawing ng buo, no? So, parang semicircle na lang ito, imagine niyo. So, meron tayong value ng sigma 3. So, si sigma 3 natin, basically, ito siya, di ba? So, from this point, from our vertical axis, so ito yung value ng sigma 3, which is equal to 400. And then, ito naman is the value ng sigma 1 natin. So, basically, ito hanggang dito. So, ito si sigma 1. And then, ito naman, so, yung pinaka-dinagdag dun sa sigma 3 para maabot si sigma 1, yan yung ating sigma 2 or delta sigma. Ilagay ko na lang sigma 2. Iusik ko lang ito. Yan. And then, ano pa ba yung bang details? Merong binigay na angle of friction. So, 34 degrees since value ng cohesion natin is 0. So, yung ating failure envelope, visible ba pag ganito yung blue? So, kaya naman, no? So, siguro ganito na lang, light blue. So, drawing lang tayo ng tangent line. Since hindi perfect yung circle natin, medyo mahirap ipakita, no? Yan. So, let's say yan yung ating failure envelope. Yung ating value ng P is equal to 34 degrees. And then, this is a point of tangency. And then, denote na lang natin somewhere dito yung ating center of the Mohr circle. I think yan na. So, label ko lang. Ito is for normal stress. Ito is for shear stress. So, based on sa ating problem, ang hinahanap is first, to compute the total axial stress at which failure will be expected to occur. So, actually, ang tinatanong dito, so ito rin yung ating sigma 1. Check ko lang kung nagre-record. Yeah. So, ito rin yung isa pa pangalan ng ating major principal or maximum normal stress. So, stress at which failure will expected to occur. So, itong part B naman, so what will be the deviator stress? So, ito basically is si sigma 2. Compute the normal stress at the point of failure. So, hanapin natin si point of failure. Ano daw yung normal stress niya? Basically, that's sigma F. And then maximum shear stress, this is tau max. Normal stress at maximum shear. So, di ba magka-partner naman lagi sa x or horizontal and vertical coordinate. So, ano daw yung horizontal coordinate or the normal stress at maximum shear? So, ito pwede nating sabihin, hindi pwede kasing gamitin si sigma max dito. Si sigma max kasi yun din si sigma 1. So, ano bang pwedeng gamitin dito? So, sigma at tau max na lang. So, ganyan na lang. Then, ito, angle of failure, that is the theta. Let's start first with the sigma 1. Kasi sigma 1, so meron tayo nakalimutan banggitin pala, no? So, itong point kung saan nag-intersect si Mohr circle tapos yung ating failure envelope. So, yan is tinatawag din nating point of failure. So, basically, itong Mohr circle na to, galing yan dun sa may Mohr column failure criterion natin. So, kung naalala nyo yung slide natin, nakalahati lang din yung nakalagay na Mohr circle. So, ito rin yun. So, ito si failure envelope, ito si point of failure, yung point na yan. So, ipo-project natin, ito yung radius. Gamit ako ng ibang kulay. So, ito is the radius. So, yung maalala yung derivation natin yung from theta, magiging 2 theta. So, ito yung value ng 2 theta, di ba? Which is equal lang kay 90 plus t. So, pakirecall na lang yung figure na yun. Lang baka mabura, pati yung red. So, yan. Then, tanggalin ko lang din ito. So, ito is the radius. Siyempre, etong part na to, radius din. Ito is radius din. So, yung ating sigma is basically diameter sa dalawang radius. So, ang unang tinatanong for the part A, what is the value ng sigma 1? To determine the value ng sigma 1, so ito yan mismo, yung point na yan. So, anong pwede natin gawin? So, alam lang natin, ito is 400. So, kailangan natin kumpitin muna yung value ng kanyang radius. So, para magawa yon, so dito na pumapasok yung sinasabi kong dapat kabisado nyo si trigo, mga triangles. So, ang gagamitin nating triangle dito, tanggalin ko na lang ito, no? So, basta per party, si sigma 1 ang hinahanap. So, considering the origin, papunta kay point of failure, tapos papunta dun sa center ng ating Mohr circle. So, syempre, ito is point of tangency, so perpendicular. So, ito yung origin, ito yung center. Kung titignan natin sa figure, itong horizontal distance na to ay 400 plus r. And then, ito naman is r. Tapos, itong angle natin dito is 34 degrees. So, para mahanap si r, so ito is opposite side, ito is hypotenuse side. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng sine 34 is equal to r divided by 400 plus r. And from here, we know that the value of r, so paki-type na lang sa mga kalkyo ninyo. But here, yung value ng r natin is equal to 507.43 kPa. Kung meron tayong r, so 'di ba, yung ating sigma 1 based sa ating Mohr circle, pwede nating express yan as sigma 1 is equal to, so yung 400 na sigma 3, dagdagan natin ng dalawang r. So 2 times 507.43. So sigma 1 is equal to, so ilan yan? 1414.86 kPa. So yan na yung ating major principal stress. For part B, so na yung hinahanap, the deviator stress or the sigma 2. Si sigma 2, basically yung dinagdag natin dun sa 400. Kasi sigma 2 is equal kay dalawang r or the diameter. So this is 2 times 507.43. Sigma 2 is basically 1014.86 kPa. So yan na yung ating deviator or plunger stress. Next one. So compute the shearing stress at the plane of failure. So when we say shearing stress at the plane of failure naman, so yun yung ating tau F. So di pala natin lagyan kanina, no? So shear stress, that's tau at the plane of failure. So yun yung tau. So di ba ito yung point of failure natin. So basically yung point na to, meron yung coordinate na sigma at failure tapos tau at failure. So kumbaga ito yung failure plane natin sa trinay din nating more circle kanina. So ang pinagkaiba lang, so pakita ko na nga lang yung figure. Balik tayo saglit. Ito pala. So ito yung ginagamit kong more circle ngayon, no? So ito yung tinutukoy natin. So itong point is basically the point of failure. So yung ating theta, so, measured from here, counterclockwise. Balik tayo doon. Medyo malayo-layo. So for part C, so that's the, dito na siguro singit natin dito. C is the shear stress at failure. So based sa ating figure, so paano natin ma-express si tau at failure? Kasi tau at failure, gamit ako ng yellow. So eto, basically, etong project lang natin. So etong vertical height na yan, yan yung ating shear stress at failure. So kung i-extract natin, say, labas ko yung triangle na yan. So meron tayong radius. Say, ano ba? Black ulit. So, ito yung center natin, tapos ito yung point of failure. So, ito yung ating tau F. Ito is radius. And based on the translation ng mga angles, no, we know that this is also equal to the feet. So, ito yung pinapakita natin kanina din. So, kung ito is 90 degrees, kaya kailangan din na imagine, no? Kung 90 degrees yan, so considering this origin, point of failure, tapos center ng more circle, considering that triangle, so ito is 90 degrees, so ito is 34, so malamang yung angle dito, so yung angle na to, that is 90 minus 34. Ngayon, nung kinonsider natin to, so isulit ko na lang muna, tapos burahin ko na lang din, so ito is 90 minus 34 degrees. So considering this triangle naman, so ito, mismong triangle na yan, kung ito is right angle din, kung ito 90 minus 34, so malamang ito is 34 din. So, kaya dun sa triangle na to, so labas ko na, ito is equal lang din kay 34 degrees. And then, hinahanap natin ito, si R. So, ang value ng R natin, so nahanap na, 507.43. Then, gamit na lang tayo ng cosine. So, cosine 34 degrees is equal to shear stress at failure divided by 507.43. And tau F is equal to 420.68 kPa. So that's our answer for part C. For part D, anong tinatanong doon? So, compute the normal stress point of failure. That's the sigma F naman. So, ang hinahanap naman dyan, balik ako sa kulay yellow. So, ito naman, ano yung horizontal coordinate na to. So, ito yung ating normal stress at failure. So, siguro ito pwede natin gamitin yung triangle na to, no? So, etong sigma F natin, based of drawing natin, pwede natin yan express. So, coordinate ng center minus etong horizontal distance na to. So, let's say, pangalanan ko, ito is X. Ito is X din. So, sigma F, pwede nating i-express. So, coordinate ng center minus X. So, pero hindi pa pala natin nahanap si coordinate ng center, no? Kasi center natin, dito na lang sa taas, since hindi naman siya kailangan, no? Kumbaga, supplemental lang. So, part lang siya ng solution. Kaya dito ko na ilalagay. Kasi center, sabi natin ito is 400. So, syempre, dadagdagan mo ng isang radius. So, yung coordinate ng ating center is basically 400 plus 507.43. So, 907.43. 0. So, yan yung coordinate ng ating center of Mohr circle. Ngayon, pagdating dun sa part D natin, ang tinatanong kasi is the sigma at failure. So, eto pwede nating express. So, yung coordinate ng center, babawasan natin ng x. Wherein yung x gamit tong triangle na to, pwede nating masabing equal lang to. So, sine 34 is equal to x divided by 507.43. So, from here, x is 507.43 sine 34, 283.751. So, subtract na lang natin dito. Papalitan ko na lang tong x dito, no? 283.751. And therefore, the value ng sigma F, 907.43 minus 283.751, that is 623, 623.68 kPa. So, yan yung ating sigma sub F. Actually, marami kasing way sa pagsasolve neto, no? Depende kung aling triangle ang gusto nyo gamitin. So, ito kasi yung ginamit ko. Pero pwede nyo rin naman gamitin si triangle na, so from the origin, point of failure, tapos ito. So, pares pa rin. Na yun pa rin naman yung vertical height na to, no? Para kay tau F. So, pwede rin ito. So, pag ito ginamit nyo itong triangle na to, ito. Yan. So, basically, yung horizontal, parang isang triangle na lang yung hinanap nyo, no? So, pwede rin ganun yung solution. So, wala namang mali doon, no? Ibang triangle lang yung ginamit. So, kung gusto nyo gamitin yung triangle na yun, so wala namang problema. Next is, so find the maximum shearing stress. So, dito, actually, wala na tayong gagawin solution, no? So, si tau max is basically equal lang kay radius. So, that's letter E. Tau max is equal lang dun sa radius ng ating Mohr circle, which is 507.43 kPa. For part F, so normal stress at maximum shear. So normal stress at maximum shear. So nasan ba yung maximum shear natin? So nandito sa mismong directly above the center ng ating circle. So ito yung tau max natin, di ba? So ito yung tau max. So tinatanong, what is the normal stress at that point? So basically, hinahanap ito hanggang dito. Ito naman yung tinutukoy natin as sigma at tau max. Tau max. Bakit talaga ng sulat ko sa ano, no? PowerPoint. So dito, mula sa figure natin, ano ba yung kaparehas na tinutukoy ng sigma tau sigma at tau max natin. Diba sabi natin, si point where the maximum shear is located is directly above the center ng ating circle. So basically, si sigma or normal stress at tau max, di ba yun na rin naman yung horizontal coordinate ng ating center. So doon din naman located yung ating tau max, di ba? So yun yung parang pinaka-x coordinate niya. Basically, ito na yung value din ng mismong sigma at tau max natin. Kulay black. So, sigma at tau max is basically the x-coordinate ng ating center. So, that's 907.43 kPa. And then, last, ang tinatanong is the angle of failure. Kasi angle of failure, sabi natin by formula, this is 45 plus kalahati ng phi. So, si phi ay 34 divided by 2. So, phi is basically equal to, or theta is equal to 45 plus 17, 62 degrees. 62 degrees. Ito na yung ating value ng angle of failure. Sa figure natin, yung ating angle of failure, so ito naman siya. So, mula dun sa ating point, kung nasaan yung ating minimum principal stress, papunta dun sa ating point of failure. So, ito yung ating theta. Ito naman galing na sa figure na to, no? Kung gusto niyo ng mas malinaw na figure, ganito yung itsura niya. So, cohesionless. Ito na yan. Cohesive to, ito yung cohesionless. So, parang ganito siya sa figure, no? So, ito yung ating theta. Yan yung mga pinaghahanap natin. So, that's our problem number 1. For problem number 2, so a cohesive soil specimen has a shearing resistance equal to 28 degrees. So, dito has an angle of shearing resistance dapat to, no? Pero nakidikit naman naka-degrees. So, matik yan yung ating phi. And then, merong value na ng cohesion kasi nga cohesive soil, so 32 kPa. If the maximum shearing stress of the soil sample is equal to 64, so when you say maximum shearing stress, yan yung ating tau max. Kasi tau max, yan is yung ating radius na ng mismong Morse circle, di ba? So medyo mas papadali tayo ngayon dito. So tinatanong, compute the lateral pressure in the cell. So, pressure in the cell. So, pag sinabi nating pressure in the cell pressure, confining pressure. So, ito naman yung ating sigma 3. For part B, maximum principal stress, cause failure, sigma 1 naman. So, maximum principal to cause failure, sigma 1. I-compute the normal stress at the point of. So, ito ulit yung sigma at tau max. Siguro try ko na lang dito i-drawing, no? Then, kulay red. Itan ko na lang para mas madali i-drawing. And then, for the failure envelope, so take note, meron tayong cohesion. So, dapat merong merong y-intercept. So, mag-extend tayo dito konti. So, let's say yan yung ating failure envelope. And then, nandito ulit si point of failure. Ito yung center ng circle. And then, itong label ko, mga yellow na lang. So, ito yung ating phi. Itong value niyan, C is equal to 32 daw. 32 kPa. And then, so 28 degrees si phi. So, ito yung ating sigma 3. So, try to familiarize din yung parts ng ating Morse circle, no? Then, ito yung ating sigma 2. Pag pinagsama mo si sigma 2 at sigma 3, yan yung ating sigma 1. Sigma 1. Then, ito yung ating radius na equal daw to. Ito ko nalagay si R. Ito is R then. Then, ito syempre is R then. So, unang tinatanong, what is the value ng sigma 3? So, para mahanap si sigma 3, take note meron tayong value ng R or the tau max to be 64. So, ilagay ko na lang siguro dito, no? Palitan ko na lang ito. So, ito ay 64. Ito ay 64 din. So, malabang ito is 64 din. So, take note, point of tangency, perpendicular. So, ang tinatanong dito, what is the value ng sigma 3? So, ito yung hinahanap. So, para mahanap yan, so, paano yung magiging atake natin dito? So, medyo complicated, no, yung figure natin, pero this is still application ng trigonometry. Sa triangle lang din. So, para mahanap yung ating sigma 3, so let's say, extend tayo dito sa kabila. Let's say, ito label ko naman to be equal to, pwedeng gamiting letter. Let's say, A. So, using this triangle from here to the point of failure to the center of circle, so, pwede nating sabihin na sin phi is equal to, so, gamit itong triangle na to, no? So, etong triangle na ito, yan. So, sin phi is equal to 64 divided by A plus sigma 3 plus 64. So, sigma 3, yun yung hinahanap, and then si phi. So, provided naman na that is 28 degrees. Siguro lagay ko na dito, no? 28 degrees. So, para makumpleto natin to, so kailangan natin hanapin yung value ng A. So, yung value ng A, pwede naman natin makuha yan gamit itong triangle na ito, since meron tayong value ng cohesion. So, based on that, tangent 28 degrees is equal to, so opposite na 32 divided by A. So, mula dito, A is equal to, parang mas okay pala si yellow, no, kaysa kay black. So, 32 over tan 28. So, the value of A is 60.18. Then, substitute na lang natin. So, 64 over 60.18 plus sigma 3 plus 60 or 64. 64. So, mula dito, we can determine that the value ng sigma 3 ay 12.14 kPa. So, ito yung ating answer for part A. Siguro mag-yellow na lang ako. Mas okay pala siya tignan dito. I hope nagigets yung mga triangle na ginamit natin dito, no? So, for part B, so compute the maximum principal stress to cause of failure, that's sigma 1. So, then, basically, sigma 3 plus sigma 2. So, for part B, dito na tayo kay next slide. So, for part B, ang hinahanap is sigma 1. So, paano natin ma-express yung sigma 1 sa ating figure? Yung sigma 1 natin is basically sigma 3 plus sigma 2, di ba? Yung sigma 3, yan yung 12.14. Yung sigma 2, dalawang 64. So, pwede nating sabihin na si sigma 1, pinagsamang sigma 3 at sigma 2. So, si sigma 3 ay 12.14. Sulat ko na lang muna. So, ito ay sigma 3 plus sigma 2. Si sigma 3 ay 12.14. Si sigma 2 ay dalawang 64. Sigma 1 is equal to 140.14. That's kPa. And then for part C, tinatanong is the normal stress at maximum shear. So at maximum shear, nandito syempre. So ano daw yung normal stress dyan? So basically, ito yung ating sigma at tau max. So ang location yan, basically yan na yung mismong horizontal coordinate din ng ating center of the circle. That is equal lang kay sigma 3 plus isang radius. 64 plus sigma 3. So for part C, so that's the normal stress at tau max. basically sigma 3 plus isang radius. So 12.14 plus isang 64. This is 76.14 kPa. So that's our problem number 2. Moving on to problem number 3. An unconsolidated and drain test was conducted on a saturated clay. The cell pressure was 200 kPa and failure occurred under a deviatoric stress of 220. So cell pressure, so yan yung sigma 3. Deviatoric stress na 220, yan naman yung ating sigma 2. For part A, determine the angle of shearing resistance. So yan yung ating phi. Maximum principal stress at failure, yan naman si sigma 1. Then undrained shear strength. So when we say undrained shear strength, basically yun yung ating tau. So minsan kasi ito is nire-refer din siya as Q. Undrained shear strength. Actually, merong table to pero I forgot to attach, no? So merong value ng undrained shear strength depende dun sa klase rin ng soil. Ganun. So take note, ito is the UU test. So unconsolidated undrained test. So meron tayong note last time. When we say unconsolidated undrained test, so yung ating slope ng failure envelope is said to be horizontal. So kung ito yung ating Mohr circle, ay ganyan. Medyo elongated. Kung yan yung ating Mohr circle, yung ating failure envelope, pag UU test, sabi diba, horizontal din. So para siyang unconsolidated or unconfined compression test. So ito yung ating failure envelope. So basically, yung value ng ating phi is equal to 0. And actually, yun na pala yung tinatanong kaya, no? Part A, no? Label lang natin yung mga binigay. So sigma 3, ito siya, equal lang daw to 200 kPa. And then, deviatoric stress, sigma 2, that's 220. For part A, nandiyan na pala mismo. So, ito is inherent na characteristic na nung ating unconsolidated and drain test. The value ng angle of shearing resistance is 0. For part B, determine the maximum principal stress at failure. So, yan yung ating sigma 1. So, figure natin that is basically sigma 3 plus sigma 2. And this is equal to, so 200 plus 220, 420 kPa. And then next, so determine the undrained shear strength. So, yan yung ating tau, or sabihin natin tau max. Parehas lang din naman yan. So, tau max, so ito siya mismo. So, the radius ng ating circle. Ito yung ating tau max. So, tau is equal to, so kung 220 ay diameter, so si tau max ay radius. So, kalahati ng 220. This is 110 kilopascals. So, medyo madali lang no kapag unconsolidated undrained test. Next one, problem number 4. An unconfined compression test. So, ito yung isa pa na horizontal yung kanyang failure envelope. Was carried out on a saturated clay sample. The maximum load the sample sustained was 127 Newton. So, etong 127 Newtons, basically F siya. So, yan yung maximum load daw nung nag-fail. The vertical displacement, so 0.8 mm. So, when we say displacement, that is the delta. The size of the sample was, so meron siyang diameter and then L. So, yung 76 na yan, yung original na length. And then, etong diameter na to, gagamitin natin para mahanap yung original na area. So, for part D, ang tinatanong is, determine the sample area at failure. So, para mas magets lang. So, drawing lang muna natin, no? Let's say, ito yung ating original na sample. So, merong diameter at length. So, basically, para siyang cylinder. So, ito yung original length niya, which is 76 or original height kasi nakatayo dito sa drawing. And then, ang diameter niya, so diameter is equal to, huwag na nga mukhang feet. So, diameter is equal to 38 mm. And then, ano ba? So, merong nag-a-act sa kanya na 127 Newton. Or siguro mas okay kung ito ilalagay natin dun sa nag-failed na part na niya. Oops. Balik lang natin. So, ito yung original. Tapos, meron daw mag-a-act na load sa kanya. Pag nag-act sa kanya, so magiging, ano ba natin drawing to? Exage ko na lang. Let's say, magiging mukhang barrel na siya. Yan, tumaba. So, yung ating area at failure, gamit ako ng red. So, ito yung itsura na nung nag-fail. So, ang load dyan is equal to 127 Newton daw. And then, etong force na yun is nag-act dun sa mismong area of failure natin. So, sa area of failure is located at the middle part ng ating sample. So, siguro somewhere here. Ito yung ating area at failure. Tinatanong the area at failure at, or determine the sample area at failure. Yun yung part A natin. So, balik tayo sa yellow na lang. So, for part A, di ba, nagbigay din tayo ng formula for the area ng failure. So, it is equal lang dun sa 1 divided by, or sorry, that's original area divided by 1 minus strain, or that's delta divided by the original na length. Now, pag sinabi nating 0.8 mm ng delta, so ito naman yung tinutukoy natin doon, no? So, from 76, lumiit siya. So, parang principle din ng Poisson's ratio. Pag kinocompress mo, so tumataba to. So, yung strain in Y, strain in X, or strain in Y, or strain in X divided by strain in Z, or strain, baliktad. Strain in X divided by strain in Y, or strain in Z divided by strain in Y. So, yun yung ating Poisson's ratio, di ba? So, ito yung ating tinutukoy as delta. So, that's 0.8 mm. So, tinatanong what is the area at failure. So, yung original area natin, ang diameter niya kasi is 38. So, pi over 4 times 38 squared. So, wala nang binanggit na unit. So, we'll assume na in mm na lang. Divided by 1 minus, so 8 mm na delta, displacement, divided by the original length, which is 76. So, this is now our area at failure. One minus 8 over 76. Lang double check. So, pi over 4, 38 squared over, so, hindi pala 8. So, this is 0.8. 0.8. We have 1146.18. This is in mm squared. Walang binanggit. So, mm squared na yung sasagot natin. Pagdating kay part B, so determine the major principal stress. So, pag i-drawing kasi natin dito, so ang pinaka-itsura ng kanyang Mohr circle, ito na lang. So, para siyang unconsolidated undrained test, pero walang value ng sigma 3. So, diba ganito yung itsura kapag, ito na yun, ay mapindot. So, ito yung itsura kapag view test. So, horizontal, pero merong value ng sigma 3. Pagdating kay unconfined compression test. So, wala namang value ng sigma 3. So, nakadikit lang si Mohr circle dun sa origin natin. And then, ito yung kanyang failure envelope. So, ganyan. And syempre, yung ating phi is equal to 0 pa rin. So, dito, pag sinabi nating major principal stress, so diba that's the sigma 1. So, si sigma 1 is basically, ito na siya mismo. So, yung point na yan, ito yung value ng ating sigma 1. So, si sigma 1, pwede nating makuha yan equal lang to the force acting at failure divided by the area at failure. So, which is for this case, we have 127 newtons divided by 1146.18. That's mm squared. So, sigma 1 is equal to plus 127 over 1146.18. So, ang unit na ito, that's Newton per mm, which is equal to MPa. So, medyo maliit kasi yung value niya. So, pag sinabi natin Newton over mm squared, so, diba, ito is equal lang kay MPa. So, para maging kPa, kailangan natin multiply ng 1,000 para medyo appreciable yung value niya, no? So, ito, multiply natin ng 1,000 para maging kPa. Multiply ko itong answer ng 1,000. 110.80 kPa. So, ito na yung answer natin for part B. And then, pag sinabi naman nating undrained shear strength, so, yun na din yung undrained cohesion natin. So, yun ba yung figure natin? Balik tayo doon. Ano ba yun? So, ito. So, ito yung CU natin, undrained cohesion. Ito na mismo yung mismong value din ng ating undrained shear strength. Since yung CU natin is equal lang naman sa tau max, which is equal lang naman sa radius ng ating Mohr circle. Ito na yun. So, kay part C, so dito ko lang isingit. Parang luwang ng space, no? So, for part C, so basically yung ating tau is equal lang kay sigma 1 over, which is 110.80 divided by 2, which is equal lang to 55.40 kPa. So, yan ang answer natin for problem number 4. So, next, for problem number 5. So, dito, meron tayong direct shear test naman. So, the soil was determined to have an angle of internal friction na 31. So, this is the phi. And then cohesion of 26. The normal stress is, if the normal stress is 150, determine the following. So, total shear stress. So, di ba, kung mababalikan natin, pag sinabi natin shear stress, so, wala na siya mismo Mohr circle, no? Basically, nagdo-drawing lang tayo ng failure envelope. So, ang ginagawa doon, di ba, kay shear stress, so, inuulit-ulit yung shear test with different values ng normal stress, tapos hinahanap yung corresponding value ng shear stress. And then, ipa-plot mo lahat ng point na yun, tapos magbe-best fit line tayo. So, yun na mismong failure envelope natin. Pag mga ganitong klase ng problem naman for direct shear test, so, kung papansin nyo dito, merong binigay na normal stress. So, i-drawing na lang natin para mas mag-get siguro. Unahin ko na lang i-drawing. So, ganun pa rin naman. So, nasa X yung ating normal stress. Nasa vertical yung ating shear stress. And then, so drawing ko yung failure envelope. So, merong value ng cohesion. So, dapat merong y-intercept. Siguro something like this. So, eto, ang value niyan, that is 26. And then, eto, merong 31 degrees. Titan ko. Mukha siyang 31 degrees. Ganyan. And then, so if the normal stress daw is 150, so locate natin, nasaan yung 150 na yan, sasabihin natin, siguro somewhere here. So, yung normal stress na yan, equal daw to, so sigma na equal to 150 kPa. So, ang tinatanong, what is the total shear stress? So, dito, actually, mas madali na lang siya. So, ang ginagawa lang dito, hanapin mo ano yung corresponding na shear stress nung normal stress na to. So, given naman yung triangle mo na yun, no? So, para ma-solve yan, so project tayo dito ulit. Let's say, eto tawagin nating, so parang kanina lang din A. And then eto yung hinahanap na total shear stress. So, shear stress corresponding dun sa 150 na normal stress. So, gamit etong triangle na maliit dito, gamit si 31, 26, tapos si A. So, for part A, drawing ko na lang dito yung maliit na triangle. So, ito is 31 degrees. Ito is 26. Ito si A. So, tangent 31 is equal to 26 over A. So, we can find that the value of A is 26 over tan 31. 43.27. And then, so gamit tayo ng mas malaking triangle. Yung buong triangle na yan mula dito, dito kay normal stress na yan. So, ang hinahanap is opposite side. So, meron tayong A na, meron tayong sigma dito. Sige, rewrite ko na lang din yung triangle. So, ito si tau. Ito, 31 pa rin. And then, ito is, so, A plus sigma. So, merong value itong dalawang ito, no? So, pwede nating ma-compute na. So, opposite and adjacent pa rin sa tangent. So, tangent 31 is equal to opposite side, the shear stress corresponding to the 150 na normal, divided by value ng A, 43.27 plus 150. So, the total shear stress is 43.27 plus 150, tangent 31. That is 116.13 kPa. So, yan na yung ating answer for part A. So, ganyan lang naman kabilis, no, kapag direct shear test. So, wala nang involved na more circle. And then next, so force required to cause the failure in shear when the sample has a dimension of 50 by 50 and a height of 75 mm. So, dito ang tinatanong. So, cause failure in shear. So, shear failure yung ini-induce, no? So, ano daw yung required na force? Knowing that the dimension is, so ito yung area niya, tapos ito yung height niya. So, basically, ang concern natin is the area kasi doon naman nag-act yung ating shear stress, di ba? So, kung maalala nyo yung ating shear box, say, pagdikitin ko na yung, ano no, say, so eto, nasa gitna, ito yung ating soil specimen, tapos merong shear force na in-induce, di ba? So, ano daw yung, or ano yung force, let's say, ito yung force na yun, na kailangan para mag-cause ng shear failure dun sa ating sample. So, dito, ang ating shear stress kasi na na-produce is ito mismo, yung na-complete natin kay part A, 116.13. So, tinatanong, so, ano yung shear force that will result to this shear stress knowing that the area? So, yung tinutukoy natin na 50 by 50, so, yung cross-sectional area dito. So, itong plane of split na to. So, syempre, merong area yan. So, yun yung tinutukoy na 50 by 50 dito. Pag sinabi nating shear stress, so, diba, that's force divided by the area na parallel dun sa direction ng force na yun. So, for part B, so when we say shear stress, that is, so, di ba ang ginagamit kasi na notation for shear force, that's V. So, pwede rin F naman, so F over area, so pares pa rin. So, dito, ang shear stress na na-develop is 116.13, pero this is in kPa, take note. And then, So, tinatanong what is the shear force? So, basically, yan yung V. So, shear force yung hinahanap, no? So, wala namang binanggit kung naka-Newton or kilonewton. Pero since mm ito, so I think kailangan natin hanapin yung Newton. Pero okay lang kung ano gusto nyo sagot, Newton, kilonewton, wala naman naka-indicate. So, divided by area. So, ang area niya kasi is 50 by 50. So, dito is naka-mm kasi to. So, ang unit na itong nasa baba ay mm squared. So, take note, this kPa, ang unit kasi nito is kilonewton per square meter. So, kung maalala nyo, ang may counterpart na mm is si MPa. So, si MPa, katumbas nito is Newton per mm squared. So, para mag-jive lang, so, pwede kayong mag-convert. Pwede naman, kung gusto nyo, etong 50 mm, convert nyo kay meter, para hindi na nyo i-convert tong kPa. So, kilonewton naman yung mahanap nyo. Pero kung gusto nyo naman naka-Newton, so, ang gawin nyo, si kPa, convert nyo muna to MPa. So, etong 116.13, i-convert nyo to MPa, kailangan nyo divide ng 1,000 or multiply nyo ng 10 raised to negative 3, magiging MPa na. Si MPa, that's Newton per mm. So, equal to V divided by 50 by 50 mm squared. So, the shear force is equal to 116.13 times 10 raised to negative 3 times 50 by 50. So, this is 290.325 newtons. Yung sinasabi ko kanina, kung gusto nyo gawin, so 116.13 na gusto nyo stay na naka-kPa, so ang i-convert nyo na lang yung 50 by 50. So, ang 50 mm papunta kay meter, that's 0.05. Tagali ko na isang 0. Times 0.05. So, ang lalabas naman dito naka-kilonewton. So, 116.13 times 0.05 times 0.05. So, ito is 0.290325. So, ito is naka-kilonewton. Regardless kung anong gusto nyo. Pero since wala nang binanggit sa problem, kung newton or kilonewton, so yan na siya mismo. So, di ba parehas naman? Ito, divide nyo ng 1,000 para mag-kilonewton. So, parehas lang sila. And then, I think this is the last problem. So, dito naman, meron tayong series of triaxial tests. So, for the first column, so meron tayong cell pressure, deviator pressure, and then pore pressure. So, typo. So, this is pore pressure, no? Pressure. Nabitin. So, tinatanong what is the drained internal friction angle. So, this is the phi. So, cohesion, that's the C. Angle of failure, that's the theta. So, copy na lang natin dun sa next, para mas maluwang. Drawing tayo ng dalawang more circle. Kulay black. For the axis. And then red para dun sa unang more circle. So, ang details ng first na more circle natin. Ano ba yun? So, let's say ito si test 1. Ito si test 2. So, cell pressure is 25. Deviator. So, cell pressure, diba? This is the sigma 3. Sigma 2 is the deviator stress. Pero dito kasi meron binanggit na pore pressure. So, paano natin i-incorporate ngayon yung ating pore pressure? So, dito kay, problem number 6. So, para ma-incorporate natin, masama natin yung pore pressure. So, actually, ito kasi, if ever na present yan, so ang ginagawa is, sinusubtract siya dun sa ating cell pressure. So, ito, si sigma 3 natin originally, no? So, basically, pag merong presence ng pore pressure, so sinusubtract siya dito sa ating cell pressure. So, kung gagawa tayo ng panibagong table, no? Kasi ito si sigma 3, si prime, tapos sigma 2. So, for test 1, meron tayong 25 minus 12, so 13, 34 minus 10, 24. Tapos ganun pa rin naman si deviator stress. So we have 20 and then 31. So ito yung ipa-plot na ngayon natin na value ng sigma 3 and sigma 2. So first, the 913 at 20. Ano yung drawing natin? Wala. Yan. So for the first more circle, say nandito si 13 and then si 20. Kung 13 yan, siguro ganito si 20. Then drawing tayo ng circle. Ito naman, pahirapan. Oops. Gagawin nyo na lang sa mga notes nyo, no? So, ito is yung 13 na sigma 3 na binawasan na natin ng 4 pressure. And then, ito naman si sigma 2 na 20. So, yan is para dun sa first test natin. So, for the second test, so ang value naman, ulit yun. So, that's 24 tapos 31. So, 24, 31. So, gamit tayo ng yellow na lang. So, si 24, so 13, so basically, ito is, yung point na to is nasa 33 na. So, 23, gitna. Siguro si 24 banda dito. And then, dadagdagan ng 31. Okay, dito na lang si 31. Then, drawing ulit tayo. Yan. So, ito naman, so ito yung 24. Ito yung dinagdag na 31. So, locate natin yung mga center nila. So, yung una, nandito. Pangalawa, sa banda dito. So, yung radius ng circle na to, or sige, drawing muna natin si failure envelope. So, dapat si failure envelope, so point of tangency sa dalawang circle na yan. So, sana tumama. So, yan yung ating failure envelope. So, label lang natin. So, ito yung point of tangency. Ito yung point of tangency. So, mga point of tangency na yan, yan yung mga angle of failure nila. Or point of failure, sorry. Then, yellow. And then, yung mga yan ay perpendicular. So, lagyan ko na lang siguro ng value, no? So, una, ito. So, ang dinagdag dito, di ba, ang radius niya is, or yung diameter niya is 20. So, ang radius nito is 10. Yung isa naman, ang diameter ay 31. So, kalahati ng 31, 15.5. Lapit nga natin to, but nag-aaway ata yung 3 and 1. 31. Ang unang tinatanong is the value ng so drain friction angle. So, the phi. So, yung phi natin is eto, syempre. So, ito yung ating phi. And then, meron tayong value ng C. So, yan yung isang hinahanap for part B. So, ito naman si C. And then, for the angle of failure, so, siguro gamit na lang tayo nung ating formula. So, for part A, dito na lang siguro. What is the value ng phi? So, para mahanap si phi, so, isip kayo ng triangle na pwede nyo gamitin dyan. So, considering, siguro eto. So, pag ginamit nyo, so, tingnan lang yung tinuturo ng cursor. Etong vertex na to, tapos vertex na yan. So, opposite side, 10. Tapos, hypotenuse is eto, plus yan. Ay, hanggang dito. So, lagyan natin ng, hanapin muna natin ano tong horizontal distance na to. So, lagyan na lang natin A. And then, mas okay din siguro no kung hanapin natin yung mga center no dalawang circle na yan. So, gamit tayo ng visible ba to? Yeah, visible naman. So, yung center ng ating unang circle, so ano yung coordinate niyan? Then, hanapin din natin center ng ating pangalawang circle. Kasi yung idadagdag natin dun sa A, di ba? So, eto, so 13 plus kalahati. So, that's 23. Red. So, this is 23. So, 13 plus isang radius. Samantalang itong isa naman, this is, ano ba? So, ito is 23 plus and ito pala no. So, yung 23 is, tama hanggang dun. So, from origin to this point, so dito pala sa taas, so 24 plus kalahati nung diameter niya. So, 24 plus 15.5, that is 39. So, this is 39.5. So, gamit yung, okay, palabasin natin yung triangle na ito. Tapos, yung mas malaking triangle. So, ito ay mga right angle. So, ito is C, P. Ito ay C, P rin. So, dito, ang radius niya, that's 10. Samantalang ito is 15.5. So, using this triangle, dito muna tayo sa mas maliit. So, etong horizontal na to, so, ano nga ulit yan? That is A plus 23. So, ito yun, no? So, itong horizontal distance na to, this is A plus 23. And then, ito naman, this is A plus 39.5. So, ito naman yung horizontal distance na yan. And then, sagapit tayo. So, sine P is equal to 10 divided by A plus 23. Samantalang dito, sine phi is equal to 15.5 divided by A plus 39.5. And as you can see, so ito is parehas na equal to sine phi. Therefore, pwede natin silang mag-equate. So, 10 over A plus 23. So, equal lang to 15.5 divided by A plus 39.5. So, from here, pwede natin mahanap ano yung value ng A. So, the value ng A mula dito ay, natin compute. So, sakto 7. Kasi meron tayong value ng A, so pwede kayong mamili either ito or ito. So, alpak nyo sa A dyan, pwede na mahanap yung value ng P. So, gamitin na natin yung una, no? So, sine P is equal to 10 over 7 plus 23. So, P is equal to, so arc sine 10 over 7 plus 23. We have 19.47 degrees. That's our angle of internal friction. For part B, so ano bang tinatanong doon? The cohesion and then angle of failure. For part C, so cohesion, so ito yung tinatanong. So pwede kayong gumamit nung etong triangle na to para mahanap yan. Ito ko lang siguro sa gitno. Ito si part B. So gamit tayo ng triangle na ito. So ito yung C, ito si A, ito si P. So basically, Meron na tayong value ng A, meron na tayong value ng C. So, gamit na lang tayo ng tangent. So, tangent 19.47 equal to C over yung A natin na 7. So, cohesion is 7 tangent 19.47. 2.47. This is KPA. So, yun ay ating answer for part B. And last, for part C, tinatanong what is the angle of failure. And we know that this is 45 plus kalahati ng V. So, 19.47 divided by 2. 45 plus kalahati ng 19.47, we have 54.735 degrees. So, that's our problem number 6. And that ends our discussion for the shear strength of soil.